Here we have the Leiva Zoco Sweet Spot Cajon. This cajon is actually identical in every way to the Zoco. The main difference is this ink, basically, this print on the front here, the pie circle design, the so-called sweet spot of the cajon. If you look at some of the other videos I've made, one of the things we've talked about for producing a really nice bass sound is to find the so-called sweet spot of this front face, and we can do that by tapping. And actually this circle is placed on the front of the cajon in the sweet spot area, hence its name. And if you play the drum in this area, this is where you're going to get the biggest, fattest bass sound from the instrument. If we look at the back of the cajon, we can see the characteristic sound hole, in this instance cut into the top of the instrument. This allows the air out, it allows the sound out, and allows the cajon to produce a nice fat bass tone. But if we move down a little lower, we can see here this little knob, which I affectionately call the cooker knob. But this is the external direct tension system adjuster for the snare wires that are inside. So if we have a look inside, you can see there, running up that front tapper face, 2 snare wires. When you hit the tapper face, those snares vibrate and produce a rattling sound. What this knob does is it allows you to change the tension of those snares. So you can not only produce a sound that you like for yourself, but also if you're playing different styles of music, for example a more ballad orientated tune, it might be that by simply turning this knob maybe a quarter or half a turn, you slacken off those snares, which enables them to vibrate more freely, and by vibrating more freely they produce a much fatter, rattly sound. On the other hand, you may be playing music where you want a tighter, funkier, more controlled sound, in which case you can just turn the knob a quarter or half a turn, tightening those snare wires and producing a much crisper sound. So although you have a cajon here that is labelled as an entry-level instrument, the features that it has are certainly professional. These external adjusters or simple external adjusters are rarely found on cajons of this price, and not actually found very much on higher level cajons either. So this is a real advantage. And not only are you getting professional features, but as I've already mentioned, with the construction, with the materials, and with the sound of this drum, you're actually getting a cajon that would sit comfortably in a professional setting and would perform admirably, producing high tones, low tones that are well separated, very few mid-tones to get in the way, and that enables you to perform well at both an acoustic level and also if you choose to mic it up. If we look at the edge of the cajon, you notice that because it's a spray coat, it's a very smooth edge all the way along here and the corners. Just occasionally you'll find in places like the corners where you've got joints, that is visible through the coating, but that's not something to worry about. That's simply the nature of the process. It's not going to affect the sound of your drum, and it's not going to affect its durability. All Leiva cajons have isolating feet on the bottom. This is the bottom of a Zoco model. They're all the same, whether it's the Sweet Spot, the Zoco, or the Zoco 2.0. What you can see is we have 4 feet, rubberized plastic, which actually raise the cajon off the floor. And what that means is that as you play the instrument, the wood, the body, is allowed to resonate fully and produce that really nice fat sound without being too damped by resting against the floor, particularly as a lot of the time we may be sat on a floor covered by carpet, which is an extremely good damping material. So these are very simple features which enable the cajon to perform at its best. So, as I've already mentioned, this sweet spot here is the area that you'd find in a normal cajon. This sort of region is the area that will produce the biggest bass sound. So if we just play a bass tone in that area with this drum, hear a really nice deep resonant bass sound. Again, very little snare buzz to get in the way, really nice punchy sound. And if we play those high tones, you can hear really nice bright tones, deep high tones, very little in the middle to muddy the sound. So a really nice sounding cajon again. All the Zocos are the same, really good punchy sound, great separation, really nice tone. So there we have the Leiva Zoco or Zoco Sweet Spot Cajon, identical in construction to the Zoco itself, the only difference being this pie circle design situated in that sweet spot for bass tone at the front of the cajon. So you know that if you're playing in this area, you're going to be pulling out all of those nice deep resonant bass tones. MDF construction, birch tapper face, produce really nice deep punchy bass notes, really nice cracking high poppy snare sounds with very few midtones in between to muddy the sound that you're producing. So it's an entry-level cajon by price, but definitely not by features. Again, a professional, semi-professional cajon that'll hold its own in any playing situation, acoustic or amplified, or even if you just want to sit at home and play and enjoy the instrument, then it will perform for you there too. So I hope that's helped. Just give a quick overview of this instrument, and I wish you the best of luck with your search.